passed beyond that great wall, when a rain of blood began to fall. It fell upon my robes so plain, covering me, red and stained. We moved to cover from the blood that fell, onward towards the lands of hell. We went forth into a cave, where the walls held enslaved. Yet more men and women without rest, their backs and bellies to the stone, roots curling into their flesh. What was flesh or foliage? At times I could not tell. I passed the damned ones by, listening to them yell. They screamed of curses against the light, where against the roots they fight, but they fight to no avail, their bones snapping, oh, so frail. The roots were fed upon their blood, flowing down into the mud. The roots held up the people, standing on their toes, held against a freezing stone, where the roots forever grow. My guide and I continued on. Out the cave we passed. We moved beyond the roots' wretched grasp. Again, we seen a canyon cut out from the cliffs, and a tower with a bridge that stretched across the rift. A tower tall and treacherous stood before my eyes, a tower surely filled with darkness and demise. The path led onward, toward that wicked tower, and as I looked upon it, it seemed to pulse with evil's power. The steps led up, crooked and broken, to a door which slowly opened. It opened of its own accord to more stairs yet unexplored. The stairs led up and onward and through another path. The path led out onto the bridge above the cliffs of wrath, where winged beasts and dragons flew through the skies, piercing through the valley their wretched, shrieking cries. Harpies perched upon the bridge, which stretched across the pit, their fur and feathers covered with dirt and grime and grit. The darkness in the pit below seemed to stir and swirl and glow. Before long, the bridge was crossed, with very little time lost. And to my surprise, on the other side of that dark and dismal vast divide, stood 1,000 sinners lined along the cliff. They did not say a word, just stood there cold and stiff. They wept tears of blood for crimes they could not forgive, for these are the ones who threw away a life they could not live. And it was then from each side of that great bridge the people began to drop one by one from atop the ridge. They fell into the pit, and off the rocks they bounced, with sickening thuds and cracks so very loud pronounced. Their blood covered and stained the darkened cliffside face, and soon after one had dropped, another took his place. The process thus continued, dragging on and on, bodies forever falling into the abysmal beyond. My guide led me onward into another cave, wherein there were echoes of the cries of the depraved. In this cave were stairs that led into its floor. It was then I turned to my guide, and thus I did implore. I asked where it was we were to go deep within the ground, and he told me, "To the river, where sinners forever drown." The stairs led down and down, seemingly forever, down into a room filled with bodies, bloodied and dismembered. Disembodied heads spoke with gurgled tone, blood dripping from their mouths as they rolled across the stone. Arms without bodies grasped about our feet. Forever they were longing only to be complete. Arms and legs all about, lying on the floor, heads and torsos all around, lying in pools of gore. We waded through the body parts, at times up to our knees. It was then we were hit by a wretched, foul breeze. The breeze came from a door not so far ahead, and the smell that came with it was the smell of the rotting dead. The stench of decaying flesh burned within my nose as the dismembered arms clung onto our clothes. We stepped out of the body parts and onto a wooden step, where maggots had collected and over the surface crept. The door led to more stairs from whence the breeze had came, and the stairs led to a beach, pitch black, its every grain. The beach was that of the river Styx, and lined along the beach, all laid out like bricks, were a billion bodies stacked in place to hold back the flood of souls disgraced. The bodies lie naked and thick with decay, all sewn together with disgust and dismay. I heard a gargled moaning from the river ahead, the sorrowful sounds of the drowning dead. We walked along the beach and out onto a pier, and there stood a tall robed figure. Within me he struck fear. A hood shrouded his countenance in the darkest black, and every time he moved, his bones let out a crack. His fingers, long and gnarled, twisted toward his wrists, his skin boiled and cracked, pus oozing out of cysts. In his hands he held an oar made of all bones, and he stood there, waiting all alone. Here he stood forever, waiting for his coins, and if they did not pay, the drowning they did join. Beyond him floats a ferry upon a mist of souls, and there he stood, the ferryman, waiting for his toll. We moved ahead and did not pay. Instead, my guide spoke a word. The word was, "On," my guide said to the keeper, who came third. He led us onto the boat and began to row away, ever onward through the mists of endless souls so gray. Social media can be very unpredictable, especially regarding horror content. If this content gets removed, all new content will be simultaneously presented on various websites provided in the description to this video. Make sure to follow me in other digital spaces so that you never miss out on the terror. Also, if you like this video, make sure to leave a comment and hit the like button. It helps the channel a lot. If you're new to the channel and you enjoy what's here, consider hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you never miss an upload. Writing is a dream of mine, and it's all of you that make that dream come true.